Hello, scholars, and welcome to COM 231 Public Speaking. I am Dr. James Hudson, and I'd like to share a little bit with you guys about myself as well as what you can basically expect from this course. And while I'm doing that, I'm going to pull up a little PowerPoint so that you guys can see some of the information that I'm going to cover. So let's see if this is going to work for me. All right, hopefully you can see a black and white PowerPoint, and you might still be able to see me also. So I'd like to share that I am originally from Jackson, Mississippi, born and raised. I've been living in North Carolina for about 5 years now, coming up on 5 years. And I love living in North Carolina, and I love being an educator. I believe that it stems from my experience in education myself. I had some phenomenal instructors in elementary, high school, middle school, and particularly in college. And I feel that their impact on my life really shaped who I've become as an individual. And I love the idea that I could actually pay it forward and be a substantial contributor to the lives of others. Now, I'm from Jackson, Mississippi, and my grandmother raised me, and that may not mean a lot to some of you guys, but for me, I feel that that contributed to me being a good little mix of traditional. I have very traditional values, but I also have millennial confidence and creativity and innovation. And I have a lot of that millennial mindset, but I also have those traditional values that keep me grounded. Personally, I consider myself to be an overcoming achiever because I've achieved so much in my life, but I've had to overcome so many adversities. Additionally, I consider myself to be a transformative educator because I like the idea that I can transform the lives of those that I come in contact with in the educational environment. Now, as you can see on the PowerPoint, I attended Mississippi Valley State University for my undergrad. I hold a BA in mass communications with an emphasis in public relations and broadcast journalism. My master's is from Arkansas State University. I studied communication studies with an emphasis in interpersonal communication and conflict resolution. And I recently earned my PhD in higher ed administration from the University of Southern Mississippi. So I also want to note that 3 adjectives that I think really describe me well are relatable, humble, and passionate. And I say those because I think we're going to do an activity in class, and you might need to know those adjectives. If you want additional information about me or you'd like to find out additional information without actually having a conversation with me in class, then you can click on the little tab on the left in Blackboard that says My Instructor. All right. I can go to the next slide, maybe. Okay, course objectives. So in this course, we're really going to be focusing on speech development, speech presentation, and research to even, get started to determine what our speech topics are going to be, as well as what sources we can include to increase our credibility as speakers. Additionally, we want to work on recognizing communication as being transactional. Now, initially, people would say that communication was often one-sided. It was the direction of it was back and forth, whereas now we think of communication as something that's ongoing. So as I'm developing my message, I'm also receiving your message and thinking about that. So it's a major process that I'd like to say we're going to discuss a lot in class, and we'll really get to know more about what that process is like and how we should really conceptualize that process. Okay, additionally, we want to demonstrate an ability to organize material. When we talk about organizing our speech, working on our outline, doing our research, and putting it in a way that will help our listeners really believe what we have to say. When we talk about credibility, we think about being trustworthy. Do you believe me? Do you trust what I'm saying? Um, so we want to look at that and make sure that what we're presenting, the research that we put into our projects and the way that we're presenting it makes us seem at least trustworthy. We want to make sure that we're using appropriate visuals, that when we use our presentation aids such as PowerPoint or Prezi, that we are doing that in an appropriate manner that's actually aiding in our ability to present our message rather than distracting from that. Additionally, we're going to try to work on listening skills. We're going to identify characteristics of an effective small group. So we're not simply talking about public speaking. We're also going to work on our skills as group members, because I know once you get into your profession, for the most part, regardless of what profession you actually decide to focus on, you're almost definitely going to work in some groups at some point. And even if you don't work in an area where you work with other individuals, most human beings are social and they have relationships with friends and family members and significant others. So there are benefits to thinking about and practicing our small group communication skills. Additionally, we are going to hopefully work on presenting effective, informative, and persuasive presentations. And our last objective is to make critical judgments about speech effectiveness. And in efforts to assess this, we're going to do a peer-reviewed speech critique. So those are the things that we're going to work on this semester. So this week, I know you're probably saying, oh my goodness, he is piling the work on already. But this week, because we have so much to work on, I wanted to go ahead and get into the material. So what I'd like for you to do is to make sure that you've read the syllabus by the time we meet for the first time. Now, for my Tuesday, Thursday classes, we will meet the first week of class. Hopefully everyone will make it. But I know that we do not meet with our Monday, Wednesday classes until the second week. But I do want to make these assignments available for you, and I want to make sure that you have received some information about the chapter on special occasion speeches, because that's going to be one of our first major speeches. So even if you are in the Monday, Wednesday class and you have not seen me in class, please make sure that you look at this information. I will say that I'm not making the work due until next week. However, there will be a new set of work next week. So if at all possible, it's best that you go ahead and work on these assignments. So the assignments include the Learn Smart, Chapter 18, Learn Smart, which is the special occasion chapter, as well as your first progress journal. Now, the first progress journal is a journal that focuses on the application of communication. So I want you guys to think about what your expectations are for this class. What do you think you could potentially gain from participation in the class? How could this information be useful, whether it be from a business perspective or from a personal perspective? How are you going to use this information? And discuss that within at least 250 words for your progress journal. If you have any questions about any of these assignments, you can definitely reach out to me. Here's my information. My email address is j_hudson@johnstoncc.edu, and my office phone number is 919-464-2372. You can also reach me via text, or if you'd like to call and talk to me on the phone, at 601-270-2207 if you have any questions, comments, or concerns. I look forward to all of our future interactions. Have a great week.